This is DMG, welcome to 7D System, and in this video we're going to talk about where to play RPGs, as in what location should you be aiming for. So if you'd like to support these videos, please check out patreon.com/7D System. So this is a video about considering where you're actually playing an RPG. So there's various things to take into account. The first is ease of access. So what that means is how easy is it for people to actually get to the venue that you're selecting. So if you have a host who is the furthest away from everybody, everyone has to travel a significant amount of distance to get there, that's probably not the best location. You want a location where it's the players or the people involved in the game have to travel the least amount of distance. So this may not actually be someone's house. This could be a venue such as a public hall, or a church venue, or a library, or someone's office, or a house of someone who's not actually playing. There's a variety of different places that you can play. So consider how far people have to go as to, is this the best location? Because the one thing you don't want is have a great game, but people can't play because they can't get there. So once you've decided on what's a good location, you also need to consider comfort and space. So space is there enough room for the amount of people who are playing? So if you're in a small room like this, I couldn't have more than 3 people in this room. It would be a terrible place to game if I had 5 people in the game. So consider how much space there is, and it also takes into account comfort as well, because comfort within that space, how comfortable are the chairs, the seating, because you may actually be sitting there for 4 to 5 hours, or possibly even up to 8 hours of time. So comfort is very important. Will people actually want to sit on cheap plastic chairs for 8 hours straight? Maybe not. You may need to have more comfortable chairs than that. Also consider, when it comes to space, if you're playing a game that requires miniatures, you're going to need table space as well. So, people are going to have their character sheets, they're going to have rule books, they're going to have dice, they're going to have dice trays, they're going to have decks of cards, they're going to have, some people will have laptops and tablets. Consider how much space you need for that. Also consider food and beverages. This is something that often gets overlooked. And it's very important that people are well fed and well watered. I think this is the one thing that needs to be considered a top priority, because if you are again going to be playing 4, 5, all the way through up to 8 hours a game, you need to be able to eat. You should be eating regularly and be drinking as well. You need fluids. So very, very important. Another thing, because of the type of games you're playing, you need to be able to communicate. People need to be hearing each other. Surrounding noise is something to consider. If you're at a venue where there's heavy construction that is happening next door, or they're relaying the road outside, or the next door neighbor has a new screaming infant, these are the things that you may need to consider, part of the surrounding noise when it comes to gaming. And finally, audience. Obviously this is not as important, but who is the audience at the venue? So you may decide you want to go and play at a coffee shop, or you may want to play at a gaming store or something like that. Consider the audience there. Will you be able to appropriate new players from that audience, or is it people who are going to find it very strange, and it may turn the venue against you, which you don't really want. So things like a coffee shop, if you're having a negative effect on patrons because of the rowdiness you may be causing or something like that, you need to consider who the audience around you is. Of course, this changes when you play online. So when you're online, there are really 3 basic things you need to consider. The first is video bandwidth, because it's much better we can actually see the other players. When you can actually see a person's facial reactions to things, it's much better that you're able to see them rather than just hear them. Obviously, there will be differing opinions in terms of people who like to play pay by post, play by email, that kind of thing. We don't see the person. That's a different style of game. We're really talking about the social interaction of RPGs here. Consider the audio clarity. If you've got a crappy microphone, you may be hearing great audio from everybody else, but they're hearing rubbish audio from you. You may need to invest a few dollars in getting a better microphone. Sometimes the one that's in your laptop or in your computer is not very good, and you really do need to get something better. It doesn't take a lot. Sometimes you can get really good headphones and microphones for about $10 to $20. So invest, because people will quickly kick you out of the game if they can't hear what you're saying. And finally, when you're online, you need to be able to share materials. So share, the dungeon master, the game master, director, etc. needs to be able to share materials with the players. So how are the players receiving materials, or are they able to see any materials like, the map or pictures of NPCs or whatever you've created? Consider how that needs to be done. So if you like this video, click the like button. You can check me out on Facebook and Twitter /7D System. And if you'd like to see the rest of the videos in this series, go onto the channel page, and under playlists, you can find all my videos in the various playlists and watch them from the very beginning. Thank you for joining me, and I'll see you in the next one.